Alright, welcome back to day 14. And I'm on time, as always. I think I've only been on time 3 days out of the last 14. So make sure I create a new file ready for 14. What was yesterday's problem? I don't remember. Oh, it was the packet sorting thing. I think Python users had a definite advantage there. Python and JavaScript, because JavaScript you can use JSON loading. I'm a bit hungover today, so as my old professor told me, never drink and drive. Oh, I can start the music as well. It's quite dark. It's because it's too bright outside. I can't open the curtains. All right, here we go. 14. Regolith Reservoir. Is regolith a type of rock? I know that from Oxygen Not Included. The distress signal leads you to a giant waterfall. Actually, hang on. The signal seems like it's coming from the waterfall itself. And that doesn't make any sense. However, you do notice a little path that leads behind the waterfall. There's always something behind the waterfall. I've played games before. Correction, the distress signal leads you behind a giant waterfall. There seems to be a large cave system here, and the signal definitely leads further inside. As you begin to make your way deeper underground, you feel the ground rumble for a moment. Sand begins pouring into the cave. If you don't quickly figure out where the sand is going, you could quickly become trapped. Fortunately, your familiarity... What's this? 2018. Oh, interesting. Something about water pressure. With analyzing the path of falling material will come in handy here. You scan a two-dimensional vertical slice of the cave above you and discover that it is mostly air with structures made of rock. Your scan traces the path of each solid rock structure and reports the XY coordinates. Okay. Yeah, so X to the right, Y down as usual. Up to the first point of each path, each point indicates the end of a straight, horizontal, or vertical line to be drawn from the previous point. For example, wait, no, I didn't understand that. What exactly is a path? Oh, the path is telling us where the material will fall. After the first point of each path. Oh, so it's telling us the coordinates it's gonna follow. It'll go 4984, 4986, 49966. There are two paths of rock. The first path consists of two straight lines. And okay. A line of rock from... Oh, it's not telling us the path that they'll fall. Hang on, my chat window, I didn't open it. It's telling us... It's describing the layout of the rocks as a series of lines. Okay, fine. Sand is pouring into the cave from point 500. Okay. Rock, air, and sand. Sand is produced 1 unit at a time, and the next unit of sand is not produced until the previous unit of sand comes to rest. A unit of sand is large enough to fill 1 tile of air in your scan. It's basically Minecraft rules. Unit of sand, or Terraria is probably the better comparison here. It's 2D. 1 step if possible. If the tile immediately below is blocked, the unit of sand attempts to instead move diagonally 1 step and to the left. And if that's blocked, it moves to the right. So once the sand comes to rest, it's never going to move again, is it? There's nothing that could happen that would make an empty space below it. Because the other sand is not going to move. Unless you... Yeah, okay. So drawing sand that has come to rest as O. The first unit of sand simply falls straight down and then stops, okay. Alright, I get it. Using your scan, simulate the falling sand. How many units of sand come to rest before sand starts flowing into the abyss below? The abyss below? So basically if sand reaches the bottom edge of the map. Bloody hell, okay. Oh. It doesn't look that hard. It's just a simulation, do exactly what they say. I don't see it being inefficient, just a straightforward simulation, because there's only... It's 500. So even if you were to fill the whole map with sand, each sand just follows a single vertical line with some diagonals in. So yeah, it's... Alright, let's do it then. So we need to build... So how... What are the dimensions of the grid? Do they even have dimensions? Sand is coming in from 500. It doesn't tell us what the highest... It's probably actually kind of infinite, because we don't know how far out sand will stretch, but then it can never go further than where the rock is, so... we can probably actually work out from this. I mean, it never really goes above 600, does it? Well, we can find out. We can just do this programmatically instead of looking by eye. What am I doing? Alright, so we need to... So ideally we want to build a grid. Okay. Grid equals... We could say it's a list of strings. Alright, first let's just work out what the dimensions are, because this is bothering me. or okay, for line in f read lines. Take out that last line. So we split by arrow. Let's say max x max y equals. We need to know the min as well, don't we? Well, it never goes to negative. Right. 0, 0, min x, min I don't know, 500, 500. Paths equals line dot split. I think we have to strip it as well. What does it look like? Okay. For point in paths, just say x, y equals point dot split. It's just a comma. Let's just say max x equals max of max x x. Just do all this. This will just tell us the dimensions. It doesn't actually matter. I could do it by 400 and up to 600 or something, but let's just call this analytics. It's nice to do it sometimes. Min x max x min y max y. 482 556 13 160. All right, whatever. Should we just say x goes from, I don't know, 400 to 600. Y goes from 0 to 200. Grid equals So it's air. We'll use the widths they've given us, whatever. I took the trouble to work them out. So, air for J in range. Oh, because it needs to be translated. Otherwise, we can just go from 0 to 557, I suppose. We just have a lot of extra spaces that aren't doing anything, but Python can handle that. Alright, so let's do it like up to, I don't know. Five. So we need one extra space after the end because there could be a rock there. In fact, there is a rock there. That's the point. So there's a rock at... Wait, are they 0? No, this doesn't matter what index it is. All right, so there's a rock at 556. So we need to have an empty column for... We need to have a column for 557 as well because that's where the sand goes. So let's say 558. And this one we can just go down to, let's say, there's rock at 160. Alright, so the same principle. We need to go to 162. If we ever reach 161, that means we've hit rock bottom, well, we've hit the abyss. Alright. Alright, that took way longer than it should have. So now we need to interpret the path. Why is it warning me about that? That's fine. Redeclaring it. I'm inting it. Alright, so... Are they always straight lines? Let's have a look at these. Yeah, they're always straight lines, but not always in the same direction. It can zigzag about. So basically, we're filling line segments. Okay, so we need... This is not quite what we need. For I in, say for K in range length paths, -1, we don't want to take the end on. 0.1 equals, let's say, yeah, 0.1 equals 2 of int z for z in paths k dot split comma. So that's just extracting 0.1, and 0.2 will be the next one along in the path. So k plus 1. We finish with just one, but yeah, so we finish with the last two. Okay, so that's 0.1 and 0.2. Delta, so we want to work out the difference. equals 0.20 minus 0.10 delta y equals 0.21 minus, that's the difference. One of those is going to be 0. Hello, Ku. So you haven't started the... Yeah, I was going to do it last night, but then I didn't. I'll probably do it today. We'll see. I'm a bit hungover right now, but I should be fine in the evening. Partying last night? Just drinking. I know some managers in bars who they just keep giving me free shots every time I go to their bar. And I could never really say no. So, okay, so if one of these is if delta x is not equal to 0, just divide it by itself, or divide it by the absolute value of itself. That should give us a sign, -1 or +1. I think I'm going a bit of a long-winded way of doing this. Alright, we'll just carry on the way I'm doing it. Y. Okay. No, and then we need... Damn it. Alright, so now we have a sign saying which horizontal or vertical direction we're going, and so now we just need to take a new... Okay, so now we just take a point. Let's let it be 0.1, and we're going to traverse to 0.2. So while true, we add the point to the grid. So grid 0.0. Hello, Bad for Beans. Are you winning? Well, in terms of the leaderboard, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have already completed this problem by now. I've barely started reading the input. Well, I have finished reading the input. I'm still reading the input into my graph. Grid 0.1. Oops. So that changes to rock. Okay. And then we want to add the delta. So point equals 0.0 plus delta x, 0.1 plus delta y, if point is the same as 0.2, we break out of this loop. That's when we stop. All right. Code is unreachable. Well, it's not unreachable. It's not, what? Why is the ID? It's. Am I missing something here? Point. Whatever. I don't know why it's complaining. That's not unreachable. Well, we'll see. I'll try running it. Oh, because I've missed a bracket. It's the. Can I just turn autocomplete brackets off? Because it's always, I never know when it's going to do its thing. And I end up putting more or fewer brackets than I need. I should probably do that. So now we have the grid. The only other thing is sand location. But we don't need to put that on the grid. We can just say sand equals they told us it's 500 0. Ah, so the Y does drop as low as 0. Yeah, it does. Okay. Okay, should we just print this graph and see if it actually makes any sense? For line in grid print Alright. Grid is not. List index out of range. What was 0.0? $502.19. That should be fine. $502.19 should be enough. Okay, let's print the grid. I mean, that looks like a grid, and it looks like it has enough. Oh, damn it. Oh yeah, of course. It should be 0.1 and 0.0. You access the Y, then the X. Basic stuff. Yeah, let's not print that anymore. Okay, let's not print this either. That seems fine. Oh, now this is interesting, isn't it? They've made a really specially crafted kind of trap for the sand. And all this empty space is wasted because we know the sand will never go there, but whatever. I can't be bothered to write a translation. Alright, so now what? We want to count how many units of sand we're using. So sand counter equals, or let's just say resting sands. That's how many are resting. So the moment it rests, we'll increment that. So let's just do this. So let's follow the steps. So they say sand is produced at 0.500. Okay. So let's say sand. Okay, let's call this sand spawn. Sand location equals sand spawn. Wait, like this. Okay, so we need to say that is outside the loop. Okay, we don't need to do it like this, just say this. Alright, sand. No. I did it right the first time. Okay. We could do this. Okay, so we've got sand, and now we need to check below. Below is oh, we need another while loop, don't we? This one is the falling loop. While true. So below equals sand 0, sand 1 plus 1. So that's just falls down one space below. If grid below I'm starting to think I should have done the grid as a hash map. It's just easier to access elements than what I've done. Whatever. Grid below 1. Below 0. But a hash map which has default values. Is equal to just an empty space. Then sand equals below. We move it one space down and we continue the loop. So if we get here, that means there's a blockage. So now we need down left equals sand 0 minus 1 sand 1 plus 1. if grid down left 1 down left. Yeah, I regret not using a hash map now. Is that. Then we move that sand there. Redeclared sand defined above. What? What's the warning here? Redeclared sand defined above without usage. Not redeclared, that's the first time I declared sand. What? Okay, whatever. And then finally we need down right, so it's +1. This IDE keeps inserting spaces. I didn't ask you to insert spaces. Don't do things I didn't ask you to do. So if we've reached this point here, that means we've found a resting place. So grid sand 1 sand 0 is right. We'll put, I could just change it to rock, but we'll put that just so it's clear. And we increase the number of resting sands. And then we break out of this loop. And then the one other thing we need to check is if sand, the Y value exceeds, what was the greatest rock value? If it reaches 161, yeah, greater or equal to 161, then we I guess we need to do this. Break out of this. And then we should be done. And at the very end we print resting sands. Alright. See if that all works. 901? Does that seem plausible? Oh, I want to print my sands. I want to see all my sands. This will look cool. Oh, look at that. It's all piling up in a pyramid shape. Oh, that is really cool. Oh, I could make an animation of it as well. Looks like a Christmas tree. Alright. What was the final value? 901. Let's try this then. Oops. Correct. Alright. You realize you misread the scan. There isn't an endless void at the bottom of the scan. There's floor, and you're standing on it. You didn't notice what you were standing on? You don't have time to scan the floor, so assume the floor is an infinite horizontal line with a y-coordinate equal to 2 plus the highest y-coordinate of any point in your scan. They say highest, but they mean highest value of y, but lowest altitude. Okay. Alright, let's just put that in while it's still in my memory before I read on. So the highest y value was 160. So they're saying 2 plus 160 is 162 is a horizontal line. Okay. So we're putting in air at 161. So now we just want to add a horizontal line. Grid dot append. .558. All right. You need to simulate falling sand until a unit of sand comes to rest at 500, blocking the source entirely and stopping the flow of sand into the cave. In the example above, the situation finally looks like this after 93 units. Oh, we might need a wider map. We'll have to see. So our program will error if it's not wide enough. So instead of making an infinite map, which you could do with hash maps, I'm just going to be lazy and just keep widening it until it's wide enough. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's 160 height would also mean 160 width either side, so it won't be that. It won't need to be wider than that much. All right, so what do we do now? So we say we don't need to do this check here. It's almost easier than before. So now we say if we are resting, but we're still at the original point. So we say if alright, better to make the while loop, put the logic into the while loop, then it's clearer. So while grid 0 500 equals empty air. Then we keep doing this. Is that it? Yeah, we need more space down right. So it needs more space on the right. Good, because I can just widen this then. Say, I don't know, 1,000. Two, 4, 5, 8, 9. Let's have a look at this. Sounds plausible. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. Oh, wow. I mean, that looks very correct. The only thing I could have got wrong is like a off by one arrow of some sort. It's difficult to see how else I could go wrong with that result. Yep. That was really nice. I think if I did it again, I would use a hash map. Because we're lucky that it was roughly close to 0, 0. But it's not really sensible to use a grid in the way I did, because if it was like coordinates were like just 100,000 or something for whatever reason, then you just have 100,000 of empty spaces which aren't being used. So I should have been using a hash map or a translation table, but that's messier. Hash map is straightforward. Hash map is easy. I should have just done that. So yeah, day 14. Hello, Eric. Wait, Eric, as in the Eric? Hey, look, it's the Eric. Welcome, Eric. Thanks for stopping by. Joined right as I solved it. Nice. Yeah, I've been doing these problems roughly every day around the time it releases, except for a couple of days. It's really good. I only discovered your site like. Wait, let's have a look at the calendar. How do I do it? Here. In 2020, it was a good, like, pandemic activity to do. I didn't do it last year, so I guess over the course of the next year, I'm gonna have to go and do all these. Yeah, that was a nice problem. I like how it ends up, like, really nice and visual. It looks a bit like a Christmas tree, too. Let's have a look at my rank. How do I... Personal stats? Yeah. It roughly always takes me about half an hour to an hour, but I'm usually explaining things as I go along, so I'm not like one of those guys who competes. I've tried to watch the videos of the people who actually compete, and it's barely watchable. They're just racing through it and pasting in stuff. Leaderboard stats. Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, I mean, good job. I'm really enjoying this site. Gives me something to do with this month. And the other thing I need to do this month is play the coding game, which is released as of just the other day. Let's have a look at that. But I'll do that later because I'm still hungover. I shouldn't really have been doing this right now. Oh, I'm not logged in. Alright, well, I'll sort that out in the evening. Do you know about coding game, by the way, Eric? This one's quite, well, it's very different because it's more AI focused. And less about, like, various tricks in programming. But it's pretty fun and has a really good UI. try to avoid other stuff so I don't accident a couple of things. Yeah, fair enough. Right, well, I need to eat. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Eric and Ku as well, and I'll probably be on at the same time tomorrow. I do also upload all my videos to YouTube as well, so it's all there as well. Alright, thanks. See you tomorrow. Or possibly even this evening.